Overview. Front of truck. Nothing is cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking, and it is not leaning to either side. The clearance lights are not cracked, damaged, or loose and are their proper color. The headlights are not cracked, damaged, or loose and clean. The turn signals are not cracked, damaged, loose, and are clean. Overview. Passenger side. Nothing is cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. None of the hoses have abrasions, bumps, or cuts and are pliable. Coolant is filled to the proper operating level and is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Windshield washer reservoir is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking and is filled to the proper level. Alternator is not cracked, damaged, or loose and is belt driven. Water pump is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking and is belt driven. Alternator and water pump belts have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Belts show no signs of fraying, has no more than 3/4 inch of play. Overview. Driver's side. Nothing is cracked, damaged, loose. Nothing is leaking. None of the hoses or wires have any abrasions, bumps, or cuts and are pliable. Power steering pump and air compressor are not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking. Both are gear driven. All nuts and bolts are tight and secure, and the hoses feel pliable and are in good condition. Oil is filled to the proper operating level. To ensure this, you can remove the dipstick, wipe it clean, and reinsert it. When removing it again, it should show that it is filled properly. If it is not, you can top off the oil, and then you must check to make sure that the fill cap is secure. The power steering reservoir is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking and is filled to the proper level. The upper and lower shock mounts and shock are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and the shock is not leaking. The steering shaft is not cracked, damaged, or loose, no more than 10 degrees of play. The U-joint is not cracked, damaged, or loose, no signs of excessive wear, and is properly greased. The power steering gearbox and hoses are not cracked, damaged, or loose. No abrasions, bumps, or cuts. No leaks. All nuts and bolts are tight. Front leaf spring hanger, rear leaf spring hanger, and shackle are not cracked, damaged, or loose. All nuts and bolts are tight and secure. Leaf spring, U-bolts, and bump stop are not cracked, damaged, or loose. Signs of looseness around U-bolts are shiny metal and metal shavings. All three pieces of steering linkage are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and are secure with castle nut and cotter pins, and they are tight. Brake hoses and ABS wire have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, are not leaking, and hoses are pliable. Brake chamber is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is not dented or leaking. Chamber rings are not damaged. Push rod and slack adjuster are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and not leaking. All nuts and bolts are tight. Cotter pin and C-clamp are secure. Slack adjuster has no more than 1 inch of play when brakes are released. To check this, you would chock the wheels, release the brake, and pull on the slack adjuster. The brake drum and brake shoe are not cracked, damaged, or loose. No signs of oil or grease. Shoe must have 1/4 of pad. The whole rim is not cracked, damaged, or loose, no signs of oil or grease, and have no illegal welds. Inner and outer sidewalls have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and are properly seated to the rim. Top of the tire has no uneven wear, a minimum of 4/32 inch tread depth, no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, must be virgin radials, no recaps. The valve stem is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking, minimum of 100 psi. This can be checked with an air gauge. The lug nuts are not cracked, damaged, loose, or missing. Signs of looseness would be rust streaks, shiny metal, and metal shavings. The wheel hub seal is not cracked, damaged, loose, or leaking, and is filled to the proper level. Safety equipment. The fire extinguisher should be 10 BC or better. You should have 3 reflective triangles and spare fuses. Coupling overview. Air lines and electrical lines are not cracked, damaged, or loose, no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, not leaking, and properly secured to the truck and trailer. Electrical plug has no bent or missing pins and no debris. Glad hand rubbers have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts and are properly secured to the trailer. Side skirt and apron are not cracked, damaged, loose, and no gap between apron and fifth wheel. The release handle is not cracked, damaged, or loose and is in the locked position. The platform is not cracked, damaged, or loose. Fifth wheel is sliding and the locking pins are in the locked position. The upper and lower mounting bolts are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and none are missing. Locking levers are not cracked, damaged, or loose, completely around kingpin and in the locked position. Kingpin is not cracked, damaged, or loose, or bent, and is properly greased. And last, we have proper distance from the rear of the truck to the landing gear.